Hey, this is Jennifer Musser from JLM and Associates Consulting LLC. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. It's Scott Ferguson, and you want to break out your notebooks. You want to sit back, relax, because my really good friend Jennifer Musser, business consultant, especially if you're a business owner, if you are wanting to start a business, like you're going to want to hear the tips, tricks, knowledge nuggets that my good friend Jennifer has. The 20-year veteran in the finance world, kind of like was not forced out, but kind of just let go from a situation and really found her calling and really leaned into her authenticity of helping companies. And me and her, we strategically aligned with me on kind of the coaching side of things with the mindset, and then her with regards to helping companies with the flow and really get it going. So again, I'm just super stoked to bring on my really good friend Jennifer. If you like it, hit the subscribe and like button, all that jazz, because my sponsors and affiliates really love that. So again, without further ado, here is my really good friend, Jennifer Musser. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I have to reschedule with my good friend Jennifer. Get a fire in our office that kind of put a damper on a lot of stuff, so we really pushed it back. But Jennifer has just been super patient. I'm so blessed to have her on, and she shares leadership lessons from big business because she's a small business consultant who helps owners gain control of their business with less stress. She's the founder of JLM and Associates Consulting, applying her business know-how to help entrepreneurs solve financial and operational issues through a personalized small business solutions. And Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today podcast, Varsity Squad. And I know that you listen to my show. So
Yes.
What is your favorite color and why?
Pink.
Pink.
Yeah,
Love it.
It's although I'm wearing blue.
No, that's fine. It's
Blue's
definitely your
another
color
favorite.
wheel.
So pink is just happy to me, happy
Yeah.
spring, summer color.
Right. And you shine bright. Like if you're watching Vimeo or YouTube, Scott, she's absolutely a stunning woman, but she's always smiling. Every picture, every video, she's always smiling. And it's such a blessing to have you here, Jennifer. Thank you again so much for coming on. But let's get to the roots. Kind of tell me where we got started. I know we were talking about the East Coasta. Have you been a lifelong East Coasta?
I am, and a lifelong New Jersey girl.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a Jersey girl.
Love it.
I talk about leaving, but I have never left for real other than college. So
yeah, I love it. I've been there a lot. And between Jersey, I spoke in Cherry Hill probably last month. And it's like, I can see why you wouldn't want to leave, but like maybe vacation for a long time. And then go back there because the summers are actually pretty cool there in the fall time. But let's get to the roots of you and like kind of where you started and how you're helping these small businesses level up and grow.
So I was on a finance track, bright lights, big city. That's what I wanted starting my career. And so that's what I got. And I started in global consulting. I did that for about 8 years or so. Then I moved into corporate finance for the second part. And then I decided to, after a layoff, to take a break and then reassess. And that's when I decided to take this leap and start my own thing and go back to consulting, but package all my know-how, the big business experience, help small business owners. And I've gone through the small business launch and all the ups and the downs and everything in between. And so I know what small businesses go through in the beginning phases and what help they need. And they don't have access to stuff that you would have in big business. HR is always an example I give, or hiring without, you have budgets, of course, in corporate, but it's different when it's coming out of your own pocket, right? So you have to be really careful how quickly you hire and all that. So that's just one small example of know-how that I bring and be going through it myself as well. And I love what I do now.
Let's go back to that break. Okay, so you had the finance track, bright lights, big city, you said, right? So you were winning to find that and you're crushing it, but what was the break self-imposed or was it imposed on you and then you had to take a step back, or talk a little bit about that?
So it was imposed on me. It was a strategic buy of a company that we were in turnaround mode for,
Okay.
and I was in the hot seat with that. And it was exhilarating and fun. And that kind of work is truly, if you have that mindset that you like to take things apart and rebuild and
Sure.
think Legos and puzzles and all that.
Not for me.
And
I hire people like you and others to do that. Nope, nope.
But I knew that in the end, once it was packaged up and ready for a strategic buy, and our buyer was Florida based down by you.
Hmm.
And so I wasn't moving. And fast forward, so you lose a job, the corporate office closes. And I wanted the break for the family. And so that was a choice that I made to take a step back. And I had been on the hamster wheel for my entire career at that point.
Yeah.
And so
How many
I
years was
wanted
that,
to
Jen?
do so altogether it was about, well, I've been in business for myself about 3 years, but
Okay.
20 years or
Oh,
so.
wow. So you did the
Yeah.
grind. Wow. Wow.
I
Wow.
I
Okay.
I did the grind. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, so I took that break, and
Yeah.
then the world shuts down, and then you really have time for that self-reflection. And I finally got the courage to do something on my own and go out there and really do what I wanted to do by creating what I wanted to do.
Love it. And how's
Yeah.
the family supportive with this?
They've been awesome.
Yeah, that's great because a lot of times when you get that kind of crab mentality where like you're climbing out of the bucket because the family loves you so much, they kind of pull you back down and say, get a job. You've been doing this 20 years. I love it. So what do you see in these small businesses that you're helping to get rocking? Like, what do you see their biggest challenges are right now? I mean, I know it can go across the board. What do you think really
Oh
stands
yeah.
out to you?
Staffing is number one
Okay.
for a couple different reasons. One, either they feel like they can't afford the talent, or the talent isn't what they need when they need it. Some hire out of desperation and they don't get the right fit in the right role.
Hmm.
And some rush to hire and then realize, oh, this isn't really what I need. So there's a variety of issues that I talk clients through in the area of staffing.
And Stephanie, okay, so are these mostly startups? Are they companies that maybe have been around a couple years and they're ready to make that leap? Or what's your kind of sweet spot?
It's a mix. It's usually in years 3 through 7,
Okay,
I'd say. So they've gone through the, oh boy, what did I get myself into? Although
right,
I do I do help some of those, but
sure,
they're more at the point where it's like, okay, I have a couple years under my belt, and now I want to get to XYZ, whatever that is for
okay,
them. How do I get there?
gotcha. And so if you're talking to the business owner, you're kind of on a one-on-one with them. Like, what is your secret sauce then to help them and really find whether it's staffing or whether it's paperwork? I don't know with businesses. Again, I'm blessed to be able to hire out everything,
Right.
but like, what do you do to? How do you really find their initial blind spot? That one thing that they really need to start with.
Great question. So I ask some questions like, what's keeping you up at night? Or,
Oh, that's strong.
yeah,
Yes.
and that
Okay.
that usually gets to the root of it
Yes.
real quick, because there's always something. And
Okay.
sometimes it's, I can't sleep because I feel like I'm doing too much myself,
Mm,
or I don't have a bookkeeper that's even answering my emails,
mm.
or my taxes, there's something going on.
Yeah,
Whatever it is, they know it right off the top of their head. And then we dive into
gotcha.
the layers beneath that.
Beautiful. So, are you a coach or a consultant or a coach consultant? Like, where do you really kind of see yourself in that? Because
I'm
I'm
a,
a coach. Like,
okay.
I will never tell you what to do. I believe everyone knows what they want. They just don't know how to talk themselves into it. And there's a
Mhm.
gap, that performance gap, and I help them get there. But every challenge that they have resides in them, right?
Mhm.
And so is a solution. So with my curiosity, which is my superpower, I help them find it and they tackle it. Because if I tell Jennifer, go do this, you're gonna be like, you go try me like Fergie, you suck. right? Okay, so but with a consulting, you're 20 years in finance. I would listen to you, right, to do it. So which way do you kind of lean on that spectrum? Are you down the middle?
I'm a guide. So I'm a consultant.
Okay,
I'm not
love it.
in
Thank
that
you.
coaching. A consultant. I guide, and my tagline, if you will, is guiding with strategic purpose.
Love
So
it.
I don't go in and say, you need to do this tomorrow. No.
Okay,
So we talk through the issues. I help them formulate strategy and
yeah,
solutions and tactical steps to get to their goals.
okay,
And so I'm guiding them, which empowers them because they're the ones, I do stuff for them, but they're the ones making the decisions. They're the ones weighing options and then
yeah,
deciding how to move forward.
love
And
it.
then when I'm gone, they know they have more tools than they
Sure,
did before they worked with me, that then they can figure stuff out on their own
love it.
without me. So you did an episode about fractional.
That was my next question. I
Yeah.
even wrote it down. So do you work with fractional again? Because I'm actually interviewing two people for fractional stuff for Time to Shine today.
Okay.
I have 18 employees. It's like I'm really wanting to like interview and bring somebody in to run a certain part of my business, right? And
Right.
and the person I interviewed, the goddess of fractional stuff, like I got introduced to her and she's like really kind of walked me through it, me and my board.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, like keep going. I'm super stoked to hear about this.
So I don't say I'm a fractional
No,
COO or CFO or whatever. But in essence, that's part of what I'm doing depending on the solution that the client's looking for. So say they have a performance improvement project or a process improvement thing that they want to get off the ground, or they have initiatives that they're thinking about but they don't know how to execute. I can do all that.
okay,
And the budgeting, the forecasting, that stuff I could do in my sleep at this point
yeah,
because I've done it. So I have I'm somebody that can come in, do that stuff,
sure,
and leave, which is the beauty of, for small business owners, not having to carry that on their payroll. You have a defined period
love
of
that.
time,
Yeah,
and you're signing up for what you truly need.
right. So how about this though? With you being the consultant and the guide with
Mhm.
strategic purpose and stuff, if they want to like, would you say, hey, maybe you should get a fractional COO for your company? Like you might recommend that, or like how, like what's your take on that? You help guide them. So I'm figuring, hey, you're missing a slot here. Maybe we should look at the fractional, or even obviously bring in somebody on the full time. You help with that as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I have made recommendations where, I mean, one was as simple as a front desk person because the business owner was going into her facilities on the weekends because she didn't. So
Yeah.
simple things like that, that when you're in it as a business owner, you may be so far in it that you're not stepping back to know exactly how to
Love
solve
that.
your problem.
Love that. So if you're kind of talking with a business owner and they just interviewed you, they met JLM, they met the Jennifer Musser, right? And you guys are kind of going through, you're qualifying them, making sure you're kind of the right horse for the course, right? The right person. Is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Yes. Well, you asked one, was the question you asked me earlier about how do you get to the root cause of their problem? If they were to ask me, like, how to help me,
Oh, I love
you
that.
know?
Yeah. In
And
your pedigree and your track record, and a lot of that speaks for itself,
mhm,
right? But still at the same time, yeah, you're absolutely killing it. So what do you feel that in your position, Jennifer, your strengths are?
spotting talent.
Ooh, love it.
I've done that for my own business. I
Okay.
and I don't want to jinx myself,
I know,
but
right? Hit some
but
wood.
yeah, some folks I've met just either seeing a glimpse of their work or getting to know them at some event. One happened just a week ago, and I said to the person, "You're really talented. Do you do X, Y, and Z? I think you can help me." And next thing, he's doing some freelance for me. So
Ooh,
it's in the corporate space, I was able to tap into that a bit and move people around and
that's cool.
really play into their strengths, but not like I can now, and certainly not for my own business, because I
Sure.
really want the most talented person doing an area of expertise that I
Right.
want them to be. I don't know how to do everything.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Henry Ford, being from the Motor City, he said it best. A smart man is hiring someone smarter than him to do certain
Yes.
things, right? And that's how I myself was that guy you would have walked in and be like, Ferg, you need to let this go. Like, get somebody here and somebody there. And I did that. Like, I've had a lifelong, not lifelong, a mentor I met when I was 27. He's still in my life, and he's built like 30 businesses, got 3 commas in his bank account. So I'm blessed to have this guy built through building businesses. And he's just like, dude, you got to let go. It's just having it. How about weaknesses, Jennifer? What do you really want to level up?
Gosh. So I tend to go all in. I do go all in.
I can see it. It's
Can
100%.
you tell that?
I can
And I'll
tell.
I'll just wear myself out. And so
Okay.
I'm not great at taking breaks, you know.
Gotcha. I love that because you care so freaking much. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it can be too much, right?
Yeah.
So you need to take breaks and rejuvenate, and I still work on that.
I love that. I love it. So if you're kind of going into a company and let's say there is the CEO or the business one, right? And there's that, they're going to bring you in, right? And the person below them is like, excuse my language here, but oh shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
they're bringing somebody in, right? What is your process of working and getting that person on you? Because deep down inside, you and I are like, dude, we just have to make this happen, right? But we also know that there's human interaction that we've got to work with, right? But like, what is your process of getting that person on board with the business owner's vision that you set with the business owner? Like, what is your process for that?
Making sure that they feel included
Yeah.
and
What do
they
you
don't
do
have.
though?
So I'll talk to them at the onset,
Okay.
have that kind of awkward, well, sometimes it's awkward,
It's
sometimes
awkward,
it's
Jenny. We
not.
can say it's awkward.
If it's, yeah, they think that they could be doing what you're brought in to do,
Right.
absolutely, or
Sure.
they want to be the closest person to the CEO, and here you are.
Right.
I've been through that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So just including them, and then also, no matter what, always being professional.
Hmm.
And if they start with some petty stuff, which I've also navigated, you just don't engage with that, and you're there
Good
to
for
do a
you.
job,
Yeah.
and you do it.
Right, right. I that is the not that there's any wrong answer, but that's like the perfect answer. And I do the same thing. I keep them included. I have a hedge fund in that I'm blessed to coach in the Carolinas, right? And they're all from the East Coast, right? They moved the hedge fund there and stuff like that. And he was the person below the owner. It was a tough one though, but like I did that. I kept him included. I kept him. I went to him for advice, and I'm saying that in quotes, even if I needed to sway him away from his advice because he was pretty much the reason. But now me and him are best friends. He comes down here, we golf all the
Oh,
time,
there you go.
So it's like the second in command. I hang out more with than the person that actually brought me on. So I'm glad to hear you say that the rapport and keeping them included. So Jennifer, thank you again for listening to the show. We're blessed to hear that. So you've heard, like, you've seen the movie Back to the Future, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. And because of your track record, I'm really curious to hear about this. Being a female in the finance business, let's go back to the double deuce, right? The 22-year-old Jennifer, right? What kind of knowledge nuggets might you drop on her? Not to change anything, right? Because your track record, I mean, you have a great family, you built businesses, you're helping other businesses build, but maybe to help her shorten her learning curve and blast through maybe just a little bit quicker.
You can't change people.
Okay.
Change who you want to be around, figure out who you want to be around, work on yourself, and just
Yeah.
let the rest be.
Thank you. Yeah, and I love that you said that because I would try so hard to get people to see my way. And with me being like 6'1" and at the time probably 270, I was a really big dude. And people like, oh, he's bullying me. I'm like, dude, from the Midwest. I just want to give you a hug, but I want you to see what you can do. But then I learned so many lessons from that as well,
Mhm.
myself, learning like I make 2 New Year's resolutions every year since 2009. One, make someone smile every single day, right? And two, unless I've hurt you, disrespect you, owe you, or judged you, I give zero what's what you think about me, right? So me, I would
Yeah.
worry about that. Once I stopped, and like we said, you can't change people, you can
Mhm.
change yourself, who you want to be around, who you want to associate with. That's awesome, Jen. Thank you. That's awesome. So how does Jen want her dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date. Well, hopefully it's way down the line. Well, your life date and death date. How does Jennifer want her dash remembered?
She lived, loved, and led with her heart.
Gosh, you have this stuff written down. I mean, this is just
No.
awesome. That's awesome. So, what keeps Jennifer up at night?
Oh gosh, depends on the day.
Okay.
The not changing people, what we just talked about, I still have times when it's like, did they really have to say that? Did they really have to do the people in your life that just want to tweak you?
Sure.
And so I still have to some nights remind myself, not about you, not about
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes. Love that. It's true. Because our ego wants to do so much stuff. It's just inherent in us. And you just have to let it slide. So how about 3 things that Jennifer can't live without?
Coffee.
Okay. I'm right there with you. Okay.
My family, but I'm
Absolutely.
supposed to say that, right?
Right.
And my dogs. I'm a
Oh,
total dog freak. We have two,
what do
so
you got?
a Labradoodle
Okay.
and an Irish Jack Russell Terrier.
Ooh.
She's
Ooh.
tiny. She's about 20 pounds. He's about 40 pounds.
Okay. Gotcha. I rescued my pit bull from, which he's all over
Oh,
social with me. I rescued him from Peggy Adams. He's a hurricane dog that kind of got displaced during a hurricane. And he's my guy. And I with my fiance and I rescued 2 cats. And they all
oh,
3 of them are besties, dude. It's so hilarious. Like they walk on each other. It's awesome. So I'm glad to hear that you're a pet lover. So what is your definition of a life well lived?
taking chances, taking risks, which I've gotten better at as I've
Yeah,
gotten older.
sure.
Maybe because you're looking at the timeline that's
Yeah.
already passed.
Right. Yeah. It's more calculated on the risks versus
Yeah.
what we used to do when we were just going and going. I mean, I'm
Right.
52 now, and it's like I look back and my mentor, who I told you about before, made me start journaling
Mm.
in 1999, right? And I still have journals, and I go back, and I had them transcribed into digital and
Oh,
stuff like
cool.
that. And I go back, and I'm like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Ego, predatory, not predatory, like weird, but like I would prey on others' misfortunes, meaning in business. Oh, you're losing your business, I'd swoop in and buy it, right? Like, fine.
Mm.
And now coming from a place of service has just changed so much. And that was 2009. My little brother killed himself, and I lost businesses, obviously, because it was just a crappy time in '09, right?
Yeah.
And that was just the lessons learned with that. That's beautiful. Thank you for your transparency. That's pretty kick ass. Time to shine today, podcast varsity squad. We are back, and Jennifer, next time I make it up to Jersey, maybe a good coffee shop, I'll meet you there. I'm there. I'm down to clown with some good coffee. So
Let's do
absolutely.
that.
And we can probably talk about a few of these questions for 15, 20 minutes. But today, since you listen, you have 5 seconds with no explanations, and I promise you they can all be answered that way. You ready to level up?
Ready?
Here we go. Jennifer, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Create the life you want.
Yes. Yes. Create. That's beautiful. Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Morning coffee. I call it meditative morning
I
coffee
love it.
by myself.
Right. So, other than JLM Consulting.com, what other website, and of course, time to shine today.com, but what other website do you go to kind of really level up?
Oh gosh, Harvard Business
It
Review.
is good.
I love
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Fast Company and Inc.
Okay, very cool. So you see me walking down the street, man, the Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums a little bit. What book might you hand me that's really maybe shifted your mindset?
Ooh, David Marquette, Turn This Ship
Oh my
Around.
gosh, it is good.
I
It's
love that
that
book.
was when was that? That came out a little bit ago, right? Because I think I had it on audio.
Probably.
Maybe, maybe.
I read it a while ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I can, that's so funny. Your first one to ever say that. That's awesome. So your most commonly used emoji when you text.
the Pink Heart,
Love it. Nicknames growing up.
Jenny and Jen Jen.
Jen, love it. Make any New Year's resolutions this year?
No, I'm not big on the New
Me
Year's. I
neither.
kind of do them as I need them,
Yeah, I love it.
which is
Awesome.
all year round.
Yes. Any hidden talent or superpower that you have that nobody knows about until now?
Mm, I'd say go back to the talent one because I really think that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Checkers.
Okay, me too. Headline for your life.
Hmm. She loved, lived, and led with her heart.
Liver heart. I love it. Any superstitions you buy into?
No.
Me neither. Go to ice cream flavor.
Ooh, a chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yes. So there's a sandwich called the Jen. Build that sandwich for me. What's on it?
English muffin, peanut butter, and banana.
Oh my gosh, we're besties for the resty. I love that. I actually add a little local honey on it for my
Oh,
allergies, but it's kind
okay.
of good. Favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time and or money to?
Start small, think big, and
Love
dress
it.
for success.
Love it. Donnie, put those in the show notes. Cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. And Jen, last question, and you can elaborate on this one, but what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I'll have to go with the 80s. I
Okay.
was a hair band girl.
Okay. You don't have to say how old you are, but you don't look old enough to even
Oh,
fathom it. So,
thank you.
because
Thank
I'm
you.
again, like I graduated in 1990. So it's like the whole 80s was my jam. Like big hair,
Okay.
don't care,
Yeah.
glam rock. You guys had Bon Jovi coming out
Oh,
of there.
yeah.
It's funny
Yeah.
with Bon Jovi, if you have Hulu, go in and
Hmm.
watch Good Night, Thank You and Good Night. It's a 4-part doc, freaking phenomenal. Like I had no idea that Runaway, the song was just John Bon Jovi who spelled it way differently than he does on the album covers. And also like how it got played and how it came to limelight. He didn't even have a band when he dropped that song. It's so crazy. And how the Slippery and Wet album cover, like I'll give a spoiler alert, it was shot with a camera on top of a garbage bag that they sprayed with water, and John wrote "slippery with wet" with his finger. So cool. You might know this because you're from Jersey, but there's
Yeah.
so much stuff in there. You'll love it. But yeah, it's awesome. So enough with Bon Jovi and the big
Oh,
hair.
you
Don't
could
care.
talk to me about Bon Jovi. That's not what your show is about, though. But
No, but I'll tell you what, man. I've met him twice.
oh, cool.
Super cool dude, just down to earth, and also going back to the 80s. I mean, it was a transitional time with like rap kind of started coming into the mix with the Beastie Boys or Run DMC,
Hmm.
and then disco went out. Then you had kind of that metal bands with
Yes.
Metallica, and then you had your MC Hammers coming up at the end of the decade. It was awesome. So Jennifer, how can we find you, my friend?
So my website has all the info you really need, jlmaconsulting.com. You could sign up for our email list, get
Okay.
some tips and advice that way. And you could get the Instagram, LinkedIn, all that through is listed on the website.
And on the website, you said that they could possibly look for their like kind of a free copy of the Business Foundations Guide.
Yeah, so if you want to join the email list,
Okay.
the first little tidbit is a business foundations guide. So any businesses starting out, 10 things that you need to have in place.
Love that. Okay. Gotcha. And let me just see here. There also you would offer maybe like a 30-minute kind of consultation with an entrepreneur that maybe needs a little bit of guidance to see if you might be the right fit for them, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Just schedule that through the website or fill out the contact us form and we'll get that started.
That's awesome, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And if you
You're
don't
welcome.
mind, please leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
So for all the business owners out there, we don't talk much about numbers because that can be boring, but make sure that you have them. That's the best advice I can give business owners, is that you have reliable accounting in place and that you're looking at your monthly
Oh
financial.
my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are so afraid of that, including myself.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I had to hire. That was the first thing that I had to hire,
Smart.
Jennifer, was
Smart.
to have somebody, because I could have that person come in and I could yell at them. And I don't mean like yell at them, like, I'd be like, dude, what happened? Or celebrate with them too.
Right.
So thank you for that. You putting that nugget out there. And Scott, I just had a super fun conversation with my good friend and fellow Bon Jovi fan, Jennifer Musser. She took the finance track, Bright Lights, Big City, absolutely kicked butt for a good 20 years. Took kind of like an unknowingly break, but during that time, she really couldn't sleep and knew that there was stuff that was needing to be happening and how she could help other companies, how she could guide them, empower them. And she really leaned into her true authenticity. And when I am so glad that she did. And if you're going to work with a consultant, make sure you ask them, how am I supposed to know how you can help me? And they better have a really good answer. I know my friend Jennifer did. And she reminded us that you can't change people. You can change yourself. You can change who you want to be around, but don't try to change others. Lean into what you can do best and surround yourself with those people, whether they're fractional or whether they are people that are really going to help strengthen your company. And Jennifer is really like strength of taking chances and risks, but she also knows that they're calculated, and she's phenomenal at surrounding herself with the people that will help, and she will help you do the same. Lastly, make sure your numbers are right. Make sure that you have a reliable person that is honest, that is doing them for you. And if you're having struggles doing for you, there are resources out there. And better yet, just if you're struggling with any part of your business, let me make a warm introduction to my good friend, Jennifer. She levels up her health. She levels up her wealth. She's stunning. She's humble, yet she's hungry. She absolutely getting out there and kicking butt. And I'm so blessed. You've earned your varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on, Jennifer. Absolutely love your guts.
Thank you for having me. Love your show.
Yay, chat soon.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast, proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you're a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.